In today's video, I will be installing the bigger size injectors. These are the injectors that I bought. So there's standard Bosch injectors. There are factory injectors for Mustang GT500, and it's not the 2014 Mustang GT500, which is a really common injector that people use on Mustang GTs to upsize the flow, which is MU52, very common. There's a lot of information about this. For some reason, I decided to go with 2012 Mustang GT500 injectors, which are 47 pounds. The stock injector on a V6 Mustang are 28 pounds, so I thought 47 pounds seems like a big upsize to injectors, and I'm not planning to double my horsepower, and I thought it would be a good amount, and I didn't want to go too big because I thought that would just be really rough on my idle for some reason. Anyway, I was wrong. I think this injectors from GT500 2014 and up is a better injector, and just because there's a lot more information about it, and you should definitely go with that one and not with the ones that I got. I did get them for a pretty good deal because I bought them like 2 years ago. It's 300 some Canadian dollars. You can probably buy like 6 Big Macs for this much money. Really cheap, I think, really good deal, but you know, the pricing wasn't really the deciding factor. I should have just selected 2014 GT500 and would have got the injectors a lot more common. At the same time, I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to replace the valve cover gasket. Look at this storage room, it's packed. I have this valve cover gaskets here for ages. Time to install them. Oh yeah, look at that thing. Doesn't it just look awesome? So first I need to do is disconnect the fuel pump just to avoid from pressurizing the fuel system. So before I disconnect the fuel lines, I wanted to check. Well, I wanted to relieve the fuel pressure, and it'd be interesting to see if the car can start with no fuel pressure. I thought there would still be some fuel in the injectors and I'd be able to start. Okay, never mind. It's got nothing. Okay, anyway, let's go disconnect the rest of the things under the hood. So removing the top manifold wasn't too difficult, just a bunch of bolts there, pretty easy stuff. To remove this main fuel line here, that's what I tried to relieve the pressure. So you just need to remove, well, I don't know if the pressure is still there, maybe there is. So this is a safety red pin, just pull it out a little bit, then you push on the button here, and let's see if it squirts. Oh, not so much. Good stuff. Alright, and because I have one of the valve cover gaskets leaking right here, just one. I decided to replace them both, and since I have most of the things apart, that's what I did. So this is not really necessary part for the injectors. Took a lot of wrestling, but I think I broke it loose. This valve cover gasket was basically fused. Wanted to do a varnish reveal on a 220,000 kilometer engine. Okay, never mind. Let's do this side. There we go. Yeah. And I expect to be a lot more varnish on this side than that side, because that's where the fresh air comes in, cycles through the kink case, and comes out from this side. And yeah, so basically all the dirty air goes from here to the intake plenum. I probably should have removed the fuel rail before I removed the valve cover gaskets, as it's dirt might go in there, but I think it's too late now, so I'll just go ahead with the fuel rail removal. One thing I did want to do when I had valve covers removed is to check my valve lash with the gap filler, but I think it's too late now. This side does sound a bit ticky, while the other side is really quiet. And I also do have an exhaust leak on this side, so it could be mishearing what sounds like a valve ticking to actually have an exhaust leak. Oh, interesting thing about this engine comparing to EcoBoost is that this is direct acting cam, so it has no follower arms for the valves. It's just acting directly on the cam buckets, which has no adjustment at all. So as it wears out, it's gonna have a gap. While on EcoBoost you do actually have follower arms with hydraulic adjusters. EcoBoost also has a high pressure fuel pump on here, which also causes the timing chain to stretch and have problems like that. While this engine has no such problems, but I do like direct injection. If I had to trade having a timing chain problems for direct injection, I would choose direct injection, of course. Alright, to remove the fuel rail, this fuel injectors should be unplugged. What you need is pull out this red safety pin and then press it in. It's actually not difficult to pull off the plug if you pressed in the release button far enough. So don't wrestle with it, just make sure the button is pressed in far enough. And so the injectors are clipped into the rail, so they should pull out with the rail. And I might need 2 hands for this. Got it pulled off. Some injectors did not come out of the rail, they just got pulled off the rail, even though they're supposed to be clipped in. Also, you should avoid leaking fuel into your oil, as that will dilute your oil and then you will need to do an oil change. I don't really want to do a premature oil change, because I changed my oil not too far ago. Anyway, let's see what we got here. Got a bunch of fuel. Oh god. Yeah, there we go. Great. I mean, maybe it's great. Probably not great. Oh. Alright, so this is actually kind of hilarious. Just opened this box that I've had for a while, and I realized I have 2 left side bank gaskets. There's no right side bank. For some reason Felpro included 2 left side bank valve cover gaskets, and that's not even the one that was leaking. the one that was leaking. No, this is two right side main gaskets. Anyway, I don't have the gasket that I need, and I have one extra gasket that I don't need. Okay, maybe I'll just go to the local auto parts store and see if I can get Velcro valve cover kit, and then, I don't know, return it. Okay, just called auto parts store. I'm gonna go get my valve cover gaskets.
The next station is Royal Oak. Doors will open on the left.
Man, I like to talk shit about Lordco, but the guy was really cool. I called a few places and they told me, well, the price was like 130 or something, and one point guy Lordco mentions like 160 with the discount is like 120 or whatever. I was like, I don't know, do I get the discount? What does it mean? I called this place and they told me about like 128 or something. And yeah, when I came in, I called ahead, and he asked me what time, not what time, he asked me what was I quoted when I called ahead, and I said, yeah, like less than 130, like 128 or something. And he's like, went to the back, got my gasket, and said, the student discount, I can give it to you for 128. I was like, hell yeah. So yeah, it came out to be like 120, but I don't know if it actually makes a difference, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go home and install this gasket, gonna take the package that I got before, and gonna come back to this Lordco and tell them, sorry, there is two left-hand side gaskets, and technically I think they should be able to get it back from Felpro, because Felpro is the one who messed up. Anyway, glad I was able to do it. Should still go home first and recharge my batteries. I mean mental batteries and GoPro batteries, cell phone batteries, and lights batteries. They're all low. Back in the parking space, I've checked the package when I was on a train to make sure it does have a pair of gaskets, not two identical gaskets. And yeah, here it is. It's all good to go. Also, since I got these gaskets, I guess I'll replace them too. It came with those rubber spacers too, and rubber bushings. I don't really feel like I need to replace them. They're not really sealing surfaces. It doesn't really make a difference. I think they're just there to keep the pressure in. And they're blue. I don't know. If they were black, I would put them in. They're blue. They're kind of gonna stick out lame. If they were red, I think I would also put them in, because I've noticed there's a lot of like red accents, like all those safety clips, all those red wires there, and some of the hose couplers have some red parts in them. I think blue is just not gonna blend in well. Just don't, keep it minimal, you know. Anyway, let's get those valve covers prepped. Valve covers are prepped. I decided to give up when trying to remove this center gaskets, because, well, they're not bad, they're not really leaking, and I think if I was even successful removing it, I'll probably destroy the gasket, and I don't think I'll be able to install a new one. They're like hard plastic. I'm not sure how they're supposed to be removed. I think maybe they're supposed to be pressed in. Either way, I don't know, it's not a problem, so I'm not gonna deal with it. So what I do need to do is I need to clean these surfaces here and here, because that's where I need to apply some of the RTV, like this Permatax Optimum Black. I also need to apply RTV to this 3D printed spacer I did, because it's gonna seal itself to that tube that I made. Okay, let's do valve covers first. So what I want to do is you need to degrease the surface. Good way to degrease the surface is with some kind of carb cleaner. I think gasoline will work fine for that kind of function too. Gasoline is a really good solvent, and it evaporates. Just take care not to drain some gasoline to your oil. Other than that, I think we're good. Now we need to apply some RTV. Okay, I think that's a good amount right there. Okay. Good stuff. Alright, and let's put on the valve covers. I just spent an hour looking for this bolt. The fact that it's missing is not a problem. What I thought might have happened is that I might have dropped it into the valve train somewhere and didn't notice, and then it could jam something and mess things up. So that's why I was really concerned, where did it go? And since I moved things all out, I was really frustrated, but eventually somehow I found it. It's somewhere here. I don't know, how did it get dropped here? Maybe it was when I was installing valve covers. Luckily it's not in the valve train. I was like really obsessed. I was like checking my pictures, checking my camera footage. Finally can resume work. The engine is safe. Maybe. I mean, I can't tell at this moment, but it looks safe. I've decided to take these injectors to the workshop area. It's just a bit cleaner up there, like more light, easier to work, also warmer. It's kind of pretty cold down here. Yeah, gonna swap them out and bring them back here. So here are the new injectors, and there's the old injector, and it might be possible to see there that they're different size. I think this is like compact or something, this is long, but from what I've seen online, it's still doable. So also learned that you need to apply some grease. And let's give it a try. The O-ring got stuck. Looks not bad. So there's this clips on the original ones. I heard that there's no need for them in this ones because it's already pressed in further than it needs to be. Oh geez. Yeah, it actually goes all the way to the top. Okay, that was a bit messy procedure. But they've got all of the injectors in there. Yeah, also I did measure the depth of the injectors. It seems to be the hole for the injector is right like close to here on the rail itself, and the injector itself is basically lining up pretty much right with the hole the way it sits right now. If the injector was going any deeper past this orange line, I don't think it would work anymore. It's just the O-ring would seal the hole at that point. So yeah, this is a very nerve-wracking kind of thing to do. Feels very wrong. If Auto Mafia Racing has not done this, I probably wouldn't try this myself. But since they've done this with this type of injectors, maybe it is fine. Next thing, we need to install this into the car. Alright, so there's the fuel rail, and that's where it's gonna go. Sorry, the GoPro has died, so there will be no time lapse. I plugged all the injector holes and all the ports, so I'm just gonna pull out all those paper towels. Then I'll also put some more of this grease on the other side of the injectors. There we go. Yeah, so I'll just put some grease on this O-ring here, all of them, not just that one. And yeah, actually really curious how much space will be for the bolts after the fuel rail goes in. Alright, this is actually kind of funny. There is about like 1/8 gap, it seems like. I suppose you could just tighten it. I don't think the gap is gonna close. Well, I mean, maybe the gap will close just from kind of stretch and deforming. Maybe it's better to put like washers to make up for that gap. Yeah, I guess you could fit those standard size injectors into this fuel rail. I think the original injectors on this V6 came, they're compact size, and the ones that are installed are either standard or long style. I think things are getting disorganized as it is like past midnight, and I'm still here trying to figure out what am I doing here. I'm not sure if I mentioned the torque spec for the valve covers is 89 pound-inches, and that is the same torque spec for the fuel rail. For the fuel rail, I added a washer in there to space it out, like we would mount. I didn't want my rail brackets to be like bent, so I think that's fine. Also didn't really want too much pressure on those fuel rails. Yeah, I think this is good where it is at, and yeah, so now I'm gonna pull out those port plugs and install the plenum. Also with the new fuel rail injectors, this heat shields don't really fit anymore, so yeah, whatever. I kind of like it how it looks this way anyway. Alright, I had the intake installed, and then I remembered that I wanted to do a leak down test. So for that, what I want to do is prime the fuel system, which is quite simple. So to prime the fuel system, plug my fuel pump back in. Let's turn the key, and hopefully there's no fuel spraying everywhere. Alright, I think I heard the fuel pump. Do that again. Ho 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 ho. Oh man, there's some noises coming from there. They're almost like hissing noises. Okay. Does not look like I had any fuel skirts. Alright, let's reinstall the intake. It is 1:20 a.m. and finally things are back in one piece over here. The engine will not start if I try to start right now. I need to reprogram it for the injectors. So yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep now, and I'll be the first thing I'll do tomorrow morning. The tune. And this video is getting pretty long. I'm gonna have to cut it right here. Sorry with progress going slow, but in the next video there will be some turbo sound.